Oh, I love when it says that recording in progress. That means we get to start because the recording is in progress. Welcome, everyone who is coming on. I know everyone's jumping on right now. Hello, everyone coming on from different places. Hello from Hilton Head, Oregon. Um, where else? I know that we have lots of people on from the UK, from
Canada.
Canada. Don't we love that? That we
Oh,
all,
Peter's on. Of
hi,
course.
Hey,
Peter. Oh, Peter from who was
hi,
showing his.
Peter.
Cutting clay, yeah.
Oh, good.
He
Oh,
is Mr.
Peter.
Cutting Clay.
That's perfect because Peter, if we have any questions, you'll be on the hot seat there. We love it. Everyone coming on. We have a good time. I think this is really good for our health, what we do here. Clearly, people love it because it's our 25th. I love tools. So what else can I say? But we love sharing. One of the great things about sharing from the master teachers I'm going to introduce in a moment is they have put all the tools or any of the processes they're going to show to the ultimate tests. I get late night email texts from everyone when they let me know that worked, that didn't work. Oh no, it just didn't. I love it. It does. I know Robin Beth said keeps us semi-sane. So I love when I hear from everyone that way because I know they ain't going to stop till it works. So with that, write this down because you'll get an email tomorrow, but just because you want it, there is a code to get 25% off all the classes. There, you just write it down. I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to take some of these classes. It's just too good for words. West Colorado, hello. I love when everyone comes on from everywhere. Oh, let me introduce everyone because that's what I love. So we have on you. I know these are some of your favorite teachers. We have on Mr. Patrik Kusek. Hello, darling. Thank you for coming on. Miss
Hello.
Pam East, genius with what you'll see she's going to do. Miss
Hello.
Mags Bonham coming on. Oh my God, you're going to be making earrings like you can't believe. Miss
Hi.
Wizz Stearn is going to teach you what you need to know about mandrels. And then Shelley Norman, she went off. She's a crazy lady. She's doing stuff with candy
Crazy,
today. I'm just telling you right off the
crazy
bat,
woman.
and you will love
Crazy
it.
woman.
Yeah. So very exciting. And our 25th one, we love that. So who is starting is Mags. Let me bring up Miss Mags. Mags does crazy, amazing things with polymer clay. Just saying. Great way to start learning polymer clay. Great way to go to the next level with polymer clay. So she came up with templates. So we love, not only do we love learning what a teacher wants to show us, but when they have a tool to make it easier, you don't have to get the tool. But if you want your life to be easier and get the tool, they're there, which we love. So Mags is showing us templates to make incredible polymer clay earrings. So I'm going to leave this here for a second while you walk us through Miss Mags. Thank you
Yeah,
for doing that.
you're welcome. So, hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. Um,
Hey,
what we're going to do,
Max.
hey, this class is called Cutout Polymer Clay Earrings. And basically, what it does is it covers a whole bunch of different things about making earrings. We talk about the design concepts of mixing different shapes together, creating your own shapes and templates if you know how to use the Silhouette Studio software, different tools for cutting shapes, like my templates that you're going to see later, or metal cutters versus 3D printed cutters. And then also some techniques, mica shift, slab building, using your veneers, your leftover bits and pieces to create veneers that can be used for the earrings. And that is one of the bonuses of the class. And the other bonus is finishing techniques. So if you're just starting out or you've been doing clay for a while, this is a great class to get because there is so much in it. No matter what level you're at, you're going to be able to have fun doing
Well,
something with it.
and you'd be like crazy inspired. It's the cutout link right there, cutout
Yeah.
polymer clay.
Yeah.
Crazy inspired to have different fun shapes. If you can make them into pendants, earrings, whatever. It's so fun.
Exactly.
Now,
Yeah.
I love the slab building, and I believe the video now you're
The
going to
first,
show
let's
us.
go ahead. That first video is after we've done some slab building.
Love it.
That is
And
so
we've
cute.
made flower canes for the flowers, and then the rest is all just snakes and little oval pieces that are turned into leaves. So here I'm going on speed here, but these are my templates that I'm using to cut the pieces out with. And you'll see when I'm cutting, I'm using something that looks like a mechanical pencil to cut out the shapes. And that's an item that I do sell on my Etsy store. And it's basically a very sharp but sturdy sewing needle that's been put into a mechanical pencil so that it's retractable, but it's also very, very sharp. And why I like using this versus a knife to cut these out is your knife, number one, could cut into your template a little bit and give you little bumpy spots. It can't turn quite as well, and it just gives us a much better shape because you can put the pin part out so that it's thick enough or deep enough to go into the template, and where it comes out of the mechanical pencil rides along the top of that template. So it stays really, really close to the template, and I just love them. I love using
I can
them.
attest to it. It's great. It's a great tool. It does everything you just said. And in that class, you show us how to make, I love that pattern there too.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
We did so much in this class.
I know.
It was unbelievable. It really, when I looked back at it, I couldn't imagine. And here you're going to see me trying to use up every little bit of that slab because it's gorgeous and we took so much time to do it. So now I've put that texture in between the two and come up with earrings that are a little off, but that was part of the class as well, talking about symmetry and asymmetry and how everything can work together to do different stuff. And so what I'm going to show you later is I decided I'd update and come up with some more shapes for templates to give you something a little bit newer if you'd already taken the class and maybe you wanted to go a little bit further, or even just because they're nice. They're a little bit more organic feeling a little bit. And I want to say a little updated, although I've mixed a lot of pieces from my old templates with the new templates to make earrings.
Oh, sure.
They look great.
Those look like quilts to me, Mags, too. That's one of the reasons I love that. Very quilter looking. It's really, really pretty. I know. I love those a lot. All right. And now you're going to show us, I think,
and now we're just going to go crazy showing how I mixed and matched all the different shapes and colors to come up with asymmetrical earrings. And the technique that we did on this was the mica shift, where we get the pearl clays, and we've got all of the mica going in one direction, and then we press some kind of texture down into it, and then shave off the texture, and you get it looks like a hologram type of a thing. So you can see playing with all the different kind of just going crazy playing with different shapes and stuff.
And just so you know, everyone, the class doesn't move that fast. The
No,
video
not
will
at all.
I just no worries there. We just didn't want to we want you to see the end result, and then you can study and do the class. We love that.
Yeah.
And then I think now this is the new templates, correct?
So this is the new template. On the one on the top, you've got some organic shapes that actually came from, if any of you saw my cloisonne class, the butterfly cutter. I had sent some friends the original cutters that I had played with that weren't going to work. And one of them went crazy over the butterfly wings and making earrings out of them.
I love it.
So you've got two different butterfly wings. They're in two different sizes. They're 1.75 tall and 1.35 tall. And then kind of a shield and then like a paddle on that one. And then on the one that's towards the front, you've got some different shapes that all have a little bit more of, they're not quite as sharp as some of the, sharp edges. They're all really kind of soft edged. And obviously they can play together. And then the third template that I did to go with that is all of the shapes in a 2-inch size. So if you want to go really, really big, like a lot of people are doing these days.
Okay, yep.
Or you want to make pendants. They're great
so
sizes
there's
for
template
pendants that way.
one.
Yeah.
Let's do template 2. I know this
You've
sounds
seen some of
crazy,
the
Max.
examples of what I did with them.
Oh, this is the other thing I wanted to point out. Look at the ones on the bottom, everyone, where if you're doing metal clay, look how pretty that is if you just wanted to use a little bit of metal clay and then put a color polymer clay behind it. I think that's really cool too.
I had a lot of
Combining
fun.
them. Yeah, combining them is great. I love that. I think we have more templates just so people
So
can
that's
see.
the
The
big
big
one.
one.
That's the
Okay.
big one. So it's got one of each of the shapes on it.
That's really fun. I love that
Yeah.
material. Pretty.
Again, just more examples of different ways to do the earring shapes.
I know Robin Beth said she loves the clay
Yeah,
noir. I like it
it was
too.
fun. I like it a
It's
lot. Yeah,
really, really fun way to play with design. I mean, and you just get inspired looking at
yeah,
everything.
exactly.
Adding the wire, adding the silver, great little touches. Fun.
And
I
then this is kind of
pretty.
mixing some with other ones, either between the new templates alone or mixing and matching with the older templates. And I actually have the ones that are upper middle. I have those on today. And I
Pretty.
want to point out the top right pair of earrings. The solid color part of that is my dear friend Patrik's wonderful texture sheets that he makes. Love them, love them, love them, love them.
And you'll be seeing those shortly too. I know that the textures are just so much fun. Those are gorgeous. Love,
Yeah.
love, love that. So that's fun. And everyone, you can take her class. But wait, we have a little.
Yeah, we have a couple of questions. How
There
do
we
I
go.
decide between the French ear wires and the lever back? It depends on the color of the earring and whether the opening is big enough just to go through, just to have the polymer attached directly to the earring without a jump ring. So that's one. And then how do you do the ones on the bottom far left? That's a process called the Sutton slice. So you take a rubber stamp that has a pretty decent texture on it and you smush clay into it, slice it all the way back until you just have the clay that's in the recesses, and then you put another piece of clay on top of that and pull it off.
Oh,
Lisa
nice.
Pavelka did, I think she did it in one of her classes. Shows you how to do the Sutton slice. But if you go to YouTube and do Sutton slice, you'll see a lot of examples on how that one is done.
Love that. Well, yeah.
So,
Mags's class, you learn a tremendous amount in there. So take a look at that one as well with all the different techniques. So much fun. All right, wait, that's your cutout
so this
kit.
is going to be the new kit.
Okay.
So you get one of each of the templates. You get a little spacing grid that I use to try and line up to put the holes and stuff. It's just a laminated grid. You get the scrap template so that you can learn you can do the scrap veneers, and you get a pen tool. And that is $49 for the clear version and $52 for the tinted. If you look at the two in the middle, that's the tinted color, just so it will show up. So it's either real clear or just a little bit of a tint in it. And that's 20% off what it would be if you bought all of those separately.
We love a deal on our I Love Tools. And then also, I think we have other.
Yeah, we have the class kit from the original one.
Right,
so you get those three. And I meant to say, you do get the inner pieces, which a lot of templates that you buy, you don't get the inner pieces. But I decided to do the inner pieces because if you don't use the pen tool and you want to use a knife, I suggest you use the piece and cut around the outside of that to get your shape instead of going around the inside of the template.
Got it.
So you've got it both ways.
You've outdone yourself once again, Miss Mags. We love that. I mean, talk about fun. I know you did good. Applause, applause. All right, we'll put a link in on Craftcast just to make sure you check out all of Mag's classes. There's the cutouts. The cutout link is in there. I know we're throwing tons of links at you, but they're in the handout as well.
Yeah.
And the handout is in there. You'll get the handout tomorrow also in an email. So no worries. It's all there. And you can use your Craftcast coupon to buy Mags's class. So I know, right? Liz is saying you're getting metal clay inspired. What's not working, honey?
Dawn says the kit links aren't working for me. Okay,
Really?
I'll get it and I'll put it into the chat.
All right.
I can see spaces in those links.
Is that the deal? I can't.
No,
Oh, wait.
I clicked it, it went right to it.
I think that in our chat box right now, the link is blue, but it's not picking up, like Pam just said, there's a space and then numbers.
I just clicked on the one that Misty put in there and it went straight
All right.
to the Etsy site.
The last one is working. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We get everything working. So no worries about it. You know, we try to stay friends with the internet and make sure it works. All right. No worries. We'll get all that to work. All right. Who's up next? Miss Pam.
Hello.
Teeny tiny cutters, right?
Itty-bitties.
You know we love these.
I love tiny things.
Yeah. Okay.
It's an obsession.
All right. So wait, you're going to show us all. Let's take a look at these. Yeah. So Pam came up with these to show us all. And you can use them in metal clay. You can use them in polymer clay. You'll see. You're going to love these. They're freaking adorable. There they are. Miss Pam, tell us all about this.
These are I didn't invent these. These come from Cutting Clay. And he's offered a coupon code for you all, if 10% off your first order. And this is only a few of the designs. There are lots and lots of designs, and they are, the best word I can use is adorable. They range in sizes from just a, like, oh man, I should have had that information at my fingertips. But those are real tiny. You'll see that in a minute.
They're teeny tiny. Oh, Peter just put on
4 millimeter to 9 millimeter. Thank you, Peter. I meant to have that information right
there.
Here.
You go.
So they're 4 mil. That's really little. And they are just. I'm having so much fun with these. I'm making aquariums and I'm making flower boxes and I just did a coral reef, which will be coming out at a future date. But today,
now wait, tell everyone that's in your shadow box class. Well, you'll see the links and everything. But this one that you're going to show us, this one flipped me out. You know how I am about
we're going to be making some little flowers.
Look at those.
And they're little 3-dimensional flowers that I built using these cutters. And I used those in my trinkets and tentacles and trinkets metal clay shadow box class.
You'll see at the end. It's beautiful.
And I just had more fun than I could possibly express with these.
I did them in polymer clay. They're adorable in polymer.
I made way more than I could use. Once I got started, I couldn't stop.
Oh, where have I heard that before? All right, let's take a look at
all right, so let me show you
how
to make. Let me show you how to make these. So it all starts with a balled wire, and balling up wire is really easy. It's not as hard as people think it's going to be. You just got to use fine silver wire, not sterling. So this is 20 gauge fine silver wire. And I've just cut some long pieces, and you want it longer than you're going to use because you can always cut off some extra. And I've got some cross-lock tweezers there to hold on to it. You're not going to want to hold that wire with your fingers while you're balling it. That would be bad. And
it would be very hot.
Yes. So now here I am filling this butane torch. This particular one, the Bernzomatic is my favorite. I've had that thing for like 15 years or longer, and it's still going strong. And you just lock that thing on, and then I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to hold it straight down. Don't hold it at an angle because you don't want the ball on the end of the wire to go to one side or the other. You want it to drip straight down, and you want to be at the very tip of the blue cone inside the flame. That's the hottest part of the flame. And you could see it just did not take very much time at all to ball up a wire. So here's another one. I showed it a couple of times. If you blink, you miss it, kind of thing. There it goes. It's balling up. And now I have a balled wire. And so I did several of these before I started so I could make my little garden.
And just so people know, you just dump that in a little dish of cold water. You're done and ready. and then
You
you can pick
can.
it up.
I don't even
You
bother.
don't bother?
I
Okay.
just drop them down. They're cool in a minute.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are.
there's not enough metal there to hang
They are.
on to a whole lot of heat.
And if anyone doesn't know, those are
I mean,
just basic butane torches, basically what they use in the kitchen for creme brulee.
yeah, I mean,
So
you could use a creme brulee
you can make
torch.
dessert, yeah, as well.
So
All right, so now we have the little balled up wire, which is very
we have the
important.
little ball. So there's my little balled up wire. There's no fire scale to deal with because I was using fine silver, not um, not sterling. And I'm going to put a little tiny bit of oil, but don't go overboard. Kind of wipe most of it off. Um, and I'm going to roll out some clay, and I'm using yellow slats. I found that the black was too thin, so yellow is half a millimeter, and that was a good thickness for this. And I'm going to go ahead and peel it up and lay it back down so that it's easier to pick up later. So now I'm going to get out my little cutters. And here I'm using the star anise cutter. And that and the daisies were my favorites. There's more than that, but those were my favorites. And I'm just going to make 4 different sizes. I'm gonna have graduated sizes. I'm just going to press straight down, and sometimes it's going to pick up. Well, you'll see in just a minute. Sometimes it's going to stay, and sometimes it's going to pick up inside the tool. It doesn't matter.
Okay, there we go.
It really doesn't matter because you'll just use a brush to poke it out. Now you can see I'm using my bright number 4. Don't do that. Use a round brush. It works better.
Okay.
I found that a round brush worked better for this. But whether they stay put or whether they come up, they all come out the same. As long you just poke it out with a brush. I've tried both using them dry and using them oiled, and didn't see a lot of difference. Sometimes they stick and sometimes they don't.
Okay.
If you do oil them, make sure it's very, very lightly. Don't get it all coated with oil. That didn't really help.
So a light touch for these.
Yeah, actually on the last time I did it, I used Cool Slip, and I just gave it a light spray of Cool Slip and let it dry, and that worked the best.
Okay.
So
good to know.
But once you're done, if you've got one that stayed down, you just pull away the clay around it. And so now I have 4 different sizes, and I'm going to grab my I always put them back when I'm done with them. I don't want to lose any little pieces. And now I'm going to start stringing them on the wire, and you're going to start with the smallest one. Also, they have a top and a bottom. So make sure they're face up. You'll be able to tell when you look at them. There's a crisper edge on the top. So I want them face up, and I'm going to just put this on my finger, and then I always start with the smallest one, and I'm going to poke that wire right through the middle and slide it up the wire. And this is so easy.
And you didn't even wait for them to air dry or anything.
Nothing.
Right.
No, I didn't have to do a thing. I just started working with them. And then I'm going to grab another one, my next size up. So like I'm doing them in from small to large.
Okay.
From small to large. And you can mix and match too. Like I could be using both the star anise and the daisy and the chrysanthemum, and I could mix it up, and that gives you a different look. I could be using the smaller sizes. I could be using the bigger sizes. I could just do 2 layers or 3 layers or 4 layers. So I could make a garden with all different size flowers. I don't have to have them all the same. And in my shadow box, that's what I did. I had some that just had a couple, 2 layers. Some had 3 layers. Only 1 or 2 had 4. So that was like the centerpiece, and then I made smaller ones for the side pieces. And if you're worried about, smushing them, you can let the clay dry a little bit, but you have to be able to poke it through. You don't want to crack it when
oh my gosh,
when you thread them on. And there it is. There's the flower. I just scrunched them all together.
So cute.
And then there's going to be a close-up here in just a moment. And there it is. You can see it from the front. And you don't want to lay these down. You don't want to lay these down on their face. You don't want to put them upright. because they're going to slide down the wire. I'm going to put a little ball of, I'm going to put a ball of syringe on the back of this to kind of support it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of syringe right on the back. And then I'm going to pat that into place and make sure that it's well adhered to the wire. But I also have had experience with this. Like if I tried to poke that wire into a piece of styrofoam upright, I've had the petals slide down anyway. So don't put them upright. You don't want to do that. You need to dry them. Well, we're going to dry them sideways. I'll show you
this
that.
This is what we love about our master teachers here. They just told you something you would probably do and then be upset.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So to keep them from drying, I can't put them face down. I don't want to wreck the flower.
Right.
I can't put it face up because it'll slide down. So we're going to put it sideways. So here is a styrofoam block, or it's a floral foam actually, and I'm going to poke it in sideways.
Perfect.
And I'm going to let it dry that way. And there it is. That's the finished piece. And this has, as you can see, there's several different kinds of flowers in there and a fence.
Now that's a class, people. That is
if you want to know how to make the fence too, you can come and
I know it. This pendant is frigging amazing. Pam shows how to make that adorable fence too. And she makes it, you believe you can do it because she shows you every single step of the way. I'm just telling you. It's a great class. And that's the bonus. So there's
that's a bonus. The main project was the tentacles, but the class, there were two bonuses. There was one for the flower box and one for an aquarium.
Right.
With the swimming fishes.
And you learn how to make
the aquarium also used the tiny cutters for the fish.
Right. And you learn how to make the little colored background, everything. Do you think I love this pendant? Yes, I do. Thank you very much. So when Pam showed me that with the flowers and the picket fence, I freaked out. But wait, there's more. You'll see here. We'll put another link in the box. Just go to Pam, the page on Craftcast. You'll see. This is only a few of the classes on here. There's a ton of them. Hello, Mr. Robert Danzig.
Hey, Robert.
Hi, honey. But check everything out. But wait, there's more.
What's coming up?
Yes. Now, okay, let me brag about her one more time here. You can close your ears if you want, Miss Pam. So what is amazing about this class coming up? Let me go to the first slide here, the first picture rather. So we all know the price of silver went up, but what's wrong with working with base metal clay anyway? Now, I know so many of us are like, but wait, I don't know how to fire that. I finally learned how to fire silver. I don't know how to do base metal clay. What about this one? What about the one that's made by Cool Tools, but blah, 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 blah. Oh, guess what? This class coming up, Pam's figured all of that out for us. We don't have to. Thank you, Miss Pam East.
Yeah, that's just a week from Saturday, and we're going to be showing you how to work with the copper and the bronze. I've even got one where I combine copper and bronze. Yeah. I'm going to show you how to set some gemstones.
How to make the molds.
And how to make the shanks on the backs of the buttons.
Yeah.
And then I'll be showing how to fire a couple of different kinds of base metal clays.
I'm going to show you a few more things going on in that class that are really pretty.
Yeah, here's the ones with the gemstones in them. And there were some surprises in that. But I'm going to keep that a secret. You got to come to class when it comes.
That was one of my late night texts from Pam with a surprise in there. And it worked out brilliantly, I'm just saying. So, yes, she's figured out how to combine also gemstones in there for all of us.
These buttons they don't have to just be they don't have to be just for on clothing. So I'm going to show you how to make a bracelet, and I'm also going to show you how to maybe embellish a handbag or here's another style of bracelet that you could do with just a single big button with a gemstone.
Well, you told me originally when you came up with this idea, Pam, it was for people who are knitting and doing sweaters to try and make some
that's correct.
And all of that. Yeah.
Or the originals. My sister is a knitter, and she made this beautiful gray sweater and said, "Hey, wouldn't this look good with silver buttons on it?" Hint, 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 hint.
Right.
And so I ended up making her a set of buttons, and that's kind of where it started.
So, you guys, this is definitely come join us for this because it's great. and start learning to use the base clays, mix them, do all of it, and great fun project. So once again, Pam, thanks for figuring it all out for us
Can
so we
I
don't
can
have
I
to.
answer Heidi's question?
Please do.
Heidi, yes, you do have to have a kiln. You're not going to do base metal without a kiln. That's
That
the
is true.
only
Yeah.
that's the only drawback. With the silver, some projects can be torch fired, but with the copper and bronze, you do need a kiln.
And you know what I recommend? Like, this is me, Heidi. What I've done is I still get the class and watch it. And then at the end, I know, do I want to invest in a kiln or not? I've seen everything. It helps me make the next decision for things. I've done that with other classes and stuff. So, and you always learn skills and different things anyway. So I always say it's more fun than watching most TV that's on there for now. So that's how I feel. You learn something. Um, all right. Those links are in there. Come join us a week from this Saturday. We know how to have fun online. Thank you, Miss Pam. All
Thank you.
pretty. Um, oh gosh, my brother from another mother, I think, is up next. Is that true? Yes. My twin. Patrik and I go way back. Actually, Robert Danzig, if you're still on, honey. Patrik and Robert were sort of my first classes a billion years ago before we did video or anything.
We
So
were doing carrier pigeon.
exactly. So um, basically, yes. So Patrik, okay, first of all, everyone, look at this. Look how adorable these are. We want him to do a class showing these. How adorable. We love charms, and these are exquisite. I mean, I love the branch and the leaves even, and that's sort of what you started. Wasn't it called Woodland Chic a
Hmm.
million years
Yeah,
ago? Yeah,
yeah,
your
yeah,
first book. We love that.
absolutely.
So now, because Patrik is who Patrik is, um, he's come up with stuff he's going to show you. Do you want to talk about this first, Patrik, before I move on?
Sure. Yeah, yeah. This is a little preview of this class, and not only is there going to be a bird cage, but I talk about the structure of making a tube out of metal clay and different things that you can do with that, like uh, the scroll holder on the right, and you can make beads, all sorts of different types and shapes of beads. So it's a really versatile way to use the cylinder.
Uh,
So I
I
have to
love
tell
that.
you,
What?
I cannot see any of the
Presentation?
comments.
Oh, the
Yeah,
comments?
no,
Oh, just open the
yeah,
meeting
I don't.
chat. I can see everything here. I
Okay,
can read
okay.
everything off.
I was having
Robert
trouble
Danzig,
finding the window.
you look for meeting chat. I love Robert Danzig just wrote, I believe we did it with smoke signals back then. Not far
Yeah.
off from that, right? Um,
Yep.
also, uh, yeah, someone, maybe Peter, if you're still on, put in the code, or maybe Pam, you know it by heart for the teeny tiny cutters. Oh, there it is right there. PECC-10 if bought direct from Cutting Clay.
Okay.
So there you go. All right, so let's take a look at now what Mr. Patrik has created, which blows my mind. Tell everyone what we're looking at.
Da-da-da.
Yeah,
Okay,
beautiful.
so these are some brand new textures that we have, and they're called mini smiths. And these are about 2.5 inches or so tall. And with the silver prices going up, we figured let's make some of these things that are a little bit more affordable. So they're tiny textures, and we sell them by the collection. And if you want to buy the whole entire collection, you can see on the bottom of the books there that there's a branch with some leaves and the
I mean,
birds
y-
and all that kind of stuff.
you
So it's a
are
lot of
too
fun.
cute for words, how that makes it going across like that. We love that. All right, so now we're going to look at some of these textures that are beautiful.
Mhm.
That's how the boxes look.
That's how, yeah, they're like a little ring box. So they're
Um,
pretty
too
tiny.
too cute. And then we're going to see that's the size.
There's the
So
size difference. Yeah. So the one on the left is the what we usually have, and then the one on the right is the minis. And we gave these away as samples at MCAS last year, and people really, really loved them. And so they were asking us if they could buy them, and I thought, okay, well, let's make them available. So
yeah, there's
thank you
something,
to those who mentioned that.
it's
Yeah,
great.
this. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say we love the small size.
Yeah, yeah, they're perfect for just a pair of earrings or a small
Right.
pendant. So this is our new collection, which is the Radiance collection, and you can kind of see all the different designs there. They're based on, like when you look through a kaleidoscope and you see all the facets and everything. Yeah, that's what this collection is based on.
Oh, that's
Uh,
fun. Love
yeah,
that.
it's we just introduced that one, and then of course we have our living creatures, some of the most popular designs from living creatures,
Oh,
and
so pretty. Love the those starfish down there. So great.
yeah, a
All
constellation of starfish. So that's what a group of starfish is called.
mm,
Like a murder of crows, right? It's a constellation
right.
of starfish. Geometrics, which we
Always
have a lot of
good.
nice designs. Yep, nice basic ones.
We always love that.
Yep. And then we have our best sellers. So we took all 8 of our best selling designs and put them all in one container so that you'd have access to all of the best ones. So it's been a lot of fun. And of course, with the book format, that's sort of our thing. And there's the Botanical Symphony, another one of our popular collections. And these aren't scaled down at all, and they are smaller in size. But what we've done is we've left the design the same and just changed the format. So you're
Okay.
not going to see any of the designs that are reduced proportionally. They're all exactly the same. It's just a smaller format, and they're much
Uh,
more affordable as well. So
And you can keep them neatly in their box.
yes, yeah, pop them in there, bring them to a workshop. They're great. If you buy any of these collections or even the whole entire collection, we will give you a free template. And this is a birdhouse template, so it's similar to the one that we showed you up front. And you'll be able to use that for the class when we have the class ready.
We
So,
love that. I think you're going to show
yeah,
us now a little bit of, oh, there it is close up. Do you know what,
yeah,
Patrik? Do you know what I love when I was looking at this? I love that you put the design of the template on that template.
yeah. We started doing that, and then also
It's a
the
good visual
different.
reminder.
Yeah, it's a good visual reminder. And then we also put the different card thicknesses on there as
It's
well.
great.
So it'll be like 2 cards thick. And this is a nice reminder so you don't have to, rewind the video or, look at your notes or anything. It's just all
I
right there.
know. Oh, how we know what we need is kind of people we are. All right, so tell us what we're doing.
Yeah, this is just a little preview on how to make a tube. And here we're using the roller reduction method. The final card thickness is going to be 2 cards thick, but first we're going to roll it out 3 cards thick without a texture. And you can see this, the size of this in relationship to the slats. So that'll give you a good idea. And of course, this is just like any other piece of metal clay. We're going to add a little bit of the lubrication. You can use either this is from Cool Slip, but anything really, Badge or Bomb. And there's even Cool Tools makes this new powder release agent, which works really nicely as well. So something you might want to check out. And then since it has a bunch of nooks and crannies in it, I do take a brush and make sure that the lubrication is in all the areas that it needs to be so the clay won't stick. And this is just a matter of rolling this out. And like I said, we're going to roll it out 3 cards thick first without any texture. And then that way, when we roll it out 2 cards thick, it has a very controlled way of putting the design into the clay. So you get a lot of control in terms of how deep that texture will be. And there, I did a beautiful job of rolling, as you can see. And I was just checking there to make sure if I had enough of the area to cut out the tube. And I'm going to put these on the side so that I can roll them out. This is the little trick so you can see. And then after it's rolled out, I roll it down to 2 cards thick. We sort of skipped ahead here. And this is the piece that's been rolled out 2 cards thick.
Pretty.
And then we're just going to take this, and that's when we take the template, and we'll just use the pin tool. And I have one that I made also, thanks to Pam. And just going to trace around the edges. And then also on here, I've put a little indicator mark on the template. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a little etch mark. And what that's going to do is it'll allow me to create a tiny little beveled ramp. And I'll show you here.
I love that pattern.
Kind of see that little tiny mark there, but I'm just, it's just a place that's an indicator, just sort of poke it a little bit, just like that. And then what I'll do is I'm going to take my thumb and smash down the edge. So I'm creating this nice sort of ramp down so that when I roll it around the tube, the part that overlaps, you will not get a double thickness. It'll ease that transition so that it'll look more like it's one card thick at the seams. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Solve that problem.
Yep. And here we are, just putting it on there, and then just going to use my thumb. And I really am just smashing it right on there to make sure that it sticks. And then just give it a gentle roll all the way around. And then add a little bit of water right at the seam. And then when I cut it off, it'll be nice and, nice and one card thickness thick. One
all the way through. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Won't be fat and chunky right in that
There's
spot.
a lot more to this, but this is the beginning. And like I said, with this simple shape, you can make the birdhouse, you can make beads, you can make all sorts of really fun and interesting things. And here's some of the greenware.
Pretty.
And then I'll be talking a little bit about adding a little bit of gold to this as well. This is a little preview of that. And
we always love a little bit of gold.
Oh yeah, I mean, silver's expensive enough. Why not add some gold to it?
Sure.
And there's the little guy right there.
Is there gold in those leaves that we're seeing there?
There's a little bit of gold in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Pam showed us a way back that gold pen, that plating pen, which worked great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really pretty. And then there is this one.
Okay. Yeah, that little guy with a little note in there. You could do like a little motivational note or something, or I don't know, maybe your phone number. I don't know. All sorts of things. A short story.
Oh gosh. All right. Oh, and there it is, so we can see it at scale. Yeah, that's lovely. Totally lovely. Do you think you can do that also in polymer, just asking for a friend?
I don't see why not. I mean, Mags, you can tell me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because that's friggin' adorable.
It is adorable.
Yeah. I mean, I love that.
Everybody loves the teeny tiny things. I mean, Pam, you were saying that.
Well, charms are back big time, so why not? It's like we love that. That's adorable. All right, so everyone, here is it'll be in the handout, so don't freak out. But there is your coupon code, et cetera, et cetera.
ILT 2026, and you get 20% off purchase over $24.99. And this also does include the mini collections. And then you'll also, if you order the collection, you'll also receive the template. So double fun.
It's like adult summer camp. That's what I always think of these things. It's like, come on, let's have some fun, like the old days when school got out and you could just play. So get ready to play. All right. Mr. Patrik, thank you so much for that. Oh, and let's tell everyone, make sure and listen to Patrik and I do a podcast now almost every Friday. We've missed some occasionally, and we have guests on that are really great. And we talk about sort of behind the scenes, not just the making, but what to do when you feel burnt out or you can't think of something, how to get re-inspired. We've also had on lots of great guests who talk about different things. It's fun. It's a great way to have on in the studio and listen to us. You can go over to craftcast.com. You'll see the podcast link there. It's also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so it's out there. Just type in for the Craftcast podcast and you'll find it. And it's always good playing with you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Now, I mean, this is going to be crazy. Oh, wait. Oh, that's right. Oh, wait. I forgot. Patrik, let's just say, that's an old class of Patriks back in the day, when we just started, but it's still fantastic to make those metal clay rings with resin inside. We were laughing about it, thinking, what kind of resin were we even using back then? So,
Right. I didn't know. Actually, I can't remember. But, in the back of those rings, that color is actually a paint chip from the hardware store.
Right.
And then a little 24 karat gold flake. Well, not real 24 karat, but, gold flake to put it in there, embedded in the resin, creating these different layers. And when you can just like see it glow for some reason, it's just like it really sets it off nicely.
Yeah. Great. And then also, if you haven't worked with concrete, we have classes when Mr. Danzig came on and showed us with concrete. Patrik has that concrete class there in the middle. I love, and I have a ring I did that's just a prefab ring form that I filled with one of the concretes and mica and sand and sparkles. It looks very impressive when I wear it. People are like, oh, what's that? It's concrete. But it looks great.
It's fun to color these things, and it's so inexpensive. It's not like you're using, silver or gold.
Right. You can mix it all together. So all right. So check all of that out. All right. Next. Oh, Miss Shelley. Shelley is our guru, our master, anything resin.
Yes.
The woman has gone down rabbit holes that we just follow along going, what is that? So now Shelley tells me about what she's going to show. And she says, I'm going to show something with Laffy Taffy. I'm like, what? Get ready for this. How did you even come up with that, Shelley? What were you thinking? I'm going to play with candy now? How did you even think of that?
Well, actually, what I'm sharing today is exactly how I came up with thinking of Laffy Taffy.
Okay, good. All right, let's start because it cracked me up.
Okay, and you can stop here for a moment.
I will.
All right. So I had an idea of I would love to make hollow resin beads, and I didn't know how. So real quick, I use a when I have an idea and I don't know how to make it, I have a step-by-step design process that I go through, and that is the tool that I want to share with you today.
Thank you.
You can go ahead.
I love that, what you said, though, there. It all makes sense.
Yes. So my inspiration here is I wanted to make beads kind of like this that I had seen, the Japanese glass fishing floats, or these beautiful blown glass beads. Oh, they're gorgeous. And I know some people are using translucent polymer clay to make these. And I was thinking, how can I do this with resin? And go ahead and advance it.
I want to know at what point of the night are you thinking this? So.
Night and day. I think about things like this all the time.
Yes.
And so my fearless creating is what I call this process. And just for a super quick overview, I start with an inspiration, and then you think about what specifically you want to make, and then how to make it. Then you give it a try. You look at what worked, what didn't work, ideas to make that better, and then some new ideas that are always coming from old ideas. And you could look at the pink over here. That was one of my earlier prototypes that I tried, and I ended up just loving this. And it's so much fun, and I'm happy to share with you today how I was able to kind of come up with a technique to make those. So the first
that
point
was a pretty color too. Excuse me just for 1 second there, Shelley. Beautiful color, and even in its not perfect round was sort of great. Just that shape.
More like a pebble or an organic shape rather than a sphere.
Yeah.
All right. So the first step is the inspiration. And I know, can you pause just a second? So in inspiration, I always have many Pinterest boards going. I look in nature. I look at what other artists are doing. I'm always looking for ideas, and I have my phone to take notes and take photos of a flower or something, just
a color,
a billboard, a color, paint that is peeling off of something. I love those. And so my what I wanted to make is the next step.
Okay.
So you need to be very specific. And in this
Okay.
case, my specifications were that I wanted to make a hollow resin bead. It needed to be translucent and have colors, be able to color it. It needed to be lightweight. I wanted it to be cheap because playing around is so much more fun when you don't worry about the cost of your materials. So I love it to be cheap if I can. I wanted it to be as non-toxic as we could get it. And I wanted to be able to add in the color shifting flakes and powders, and make it in my own home studio.
Okay.
All right, so those are my specifications. And when you would make your own list of your specifications, then
Okay.
you go to the how. First, you need to define what very clearly, and then how. And at this point, you do research and see what other artists are doing. What's going on in the polymer clay world, the resin world, the glass world, any ideas you can pick up from other people. Email people that you see and ask them if they've tried, if they've ever tried these things. Artists are so generous in responding back. They love to share what they have discovered, and you can make some really nice connections that way. Then you come up with, and you can flip through my books.
This is so,
there.
look at this.
So I take lots of notes, messy, but I really love looking back through these. I get, they're very helpful. And pause again. Okay, so then brainstorm from what you have learned, brainstorm of how you might possibly be able to put together a step-by-step plan on how to test these. And what I was thinking is, and I got this from some polymer clay people, to have a core that you can somehow get out of there, burn it out, or in the kiln, or dissolve it out, or something like that. Well, I thought, I happen to know that cotton candy dissolves in water, so maybe cotton candy, if I squish it down.
Oh, I so want to be with you at night with your
something.
brain talking here to go, let's go get some cotton candy. All right, should I move on a little bit?
Yeah, my brain is a very fun place.
Yeah.
Okay, so stop here. All right. So after you get your ideas, you need to give it a try. And that is, the official word is prototyping. And what I want you to always think is prototype to learn. You're not prototyping to make the world's most beautiful pendant ever, right? That's too much pressure. And notice on this give it a try, there isn't beat yourself up because it wasn't perfect, right? There isn't feel bad because you're not a genius. You're prototyping to learn, relax, enjoy. So I went to the dollar store to get, because I kind of remembered, I think they have cotton candy at the dollar store, because that's not on my normal grocery list. So I was standing at the dollar store at that candy aisle, and I was thinking, what else will dissolve? So maybe gummies would dissolve, maybe circus peanuts, because those are kind of like cotton candy a little bit.
Yeah.
Turns out they're not.
Okay.
But anyway, and then I always try to pick something that's kind of out of the box, not what I was looking for, and that was Laffy Taffy. But I thought Laffy Taffy is kind of like clay, and I really like clay, so let's try Laffy Taffy. And so I've
never even heard of Laffy Taffy before, so now I want to go find some. I know.
Yes, comes in all different colors and fragrances or flavors, but for me it's the fragrance in our use. Okay, so I picked these up. I brought them home, and you can advance the video.
I'm laughing, Mags. This is like when you did your gingerbread houses with all the candy.
Exactly.
Okay, stop here.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, so these are my prototypes. So you can see, so the pins that you see, you can look back at the previous I Love Tools to figure out what's going on here. But so I took all those candies, stabbed them, and put some of the smaller ones I put together in 2s or 3s. In the center, though, that yellow ball, the yellow ball is Laffy Taffy, and the yellow cube is Laffy Taffy also.
Okay.
And I want you to note those because
Okay.
Laffy Taffy was the clear
The winner?
winner. So
Okay.
I want you to keep your eye on the Laffy Taffy.
Should I
Just
move?
below the Laffy Taffy is the blue with a little yellow. That's
Yeah.
the cotton candy. And in
Okay.
my mind, that was it. That was going to be the winner for sure. It was not.
Okay.
But I don't do this. Don't get set on something where you are just determined to make it work.
Okay.
Be relaxed about it, and you
Okay.
can advance it.
This cracks me up.
Good.
Okay.
So then I take all of these candies, and here are the prototypes that I got out of it. I coated them with resin, and you can see all different kinds of things. And this next one, you can keep the video going
Okay.
here. So this is the very first thing. This was that ball of cotton candy. I put some resin on it just to see what was going to happen, and it was way more opaque white than I was expecting. So I did another one, and it's even more opaque white. And that's not one of my specifications, right? I needed it to be translucent. This one, if you could pause it in just a second. Well, you let it come out. Okay, pause it here. All right, so I noticed as I was working that the resin is being absorbed into the cotton candy. And I thought that's probably what was giving me the opacity. So I thought, how about if I dab it with Vaseline before I put the resin on? So that's what these are. And that got a little bit better. It had an interesting texture, though still not fully translucent, but some areas were translucent. And I was kind of liking this actually. So I tried putting some flakes in there and some powder, and I thought maybe we're on track. So why don't I try covering it with saran wrap and see what happens. And it did make it translucent, but I wasn't digging all those creases in it. But I'm going to come back to that idea and work it up a little more. So here's another prototype with even more Vaseline. And I kind of like that crystal structure on there. And so I tried it again. This time I used less Vaseline and they turned out completely opaque. So again, it just,
interesting, though.
It didn't quite come out the way the first one did, the turquoise. All right. And so,
but they're cool.
So here are the ones that were on those candies. And the reason that these are a fail for me is it was not fun to get that candy out of there. It took a long time. I ended up having to drill an 1/8 of an inch hole in each end before I could get the candy out. It took me nearly 2 weeks of messing with it every day with hot water. I put it in my ultrasonic. I tried all kinds of like harsh cleansers, like dissolved. This one I kind of like. This is the circus peanut. That to me looks very organic, and that was fun. But it was still pretty difficult to get out. What I learned from this one, though, the sour gummies have that crystal on the outside. I kind of like that texture. So maybe we could put that in our mind to explore some more later also. But what was really clear and I really loved was the Laffy Taffy. But okay, so this is another outside the box. This is a styrofoam ball. Because I thought styrofoam dissolves with acetone, right? With nail polish remover. So I bought some balls, some styrofoam balls. I covered them with resin, but I really didn't like the acetone. It was really harsh, and you got a seam, and the cells of the styrofoam kind of leave a texture in there. But I kind of like that. So that's a possibility, but you're limited to the size of balls you can buy. So if you could pause here. So after you do your prototypes, think very carefully what worked, what didn't work. Can I make this better? Does this lead me to lots of ideas of other things to do? So this was that little cube of Laffy Taffy, and I pressed it on a texture plate and ended up, see, would it hold those texture? Yes, it did hold the texture. So this was kind of a cool little thing. So my next idea with the Laffy Taffy was, I wanted to know, could I use it with foil? Because I love some gold or silver foil on it. And you can go ahead and advance that. So my next idea that I thought about, so here is evaluating. I like this. That met my specifications. So here it is. I took the Laffy Taffy ball, rolled it around in some scrap foil, bits that I had saved from other projects, covered it with resin, and it worked. Yay. Okay, this is, and you can pause it a second. My next idea was, can I do something like a ship in a bottle kind of idea? And what did I have laying around? 100 little people that are used for train models. Okay, and you could advance it now.
Of
So
course.
I took those, I embedded them in a ball of Laffy Taffy, stuck it with a wire, coated it with resin, dissolved it all out, and made this. This is a proof of concept. Okay, and then how are we going to take these?
Wonderful.
Now that we have something useful, how am I going to turn it into jewelry? So I thought the easiest thing would to be, can I just string it on a chain? And how did that work out? And I ended up liking this. This is so simple.
So pretty.
And it really gives you, lets the ball shine there. Okay, so here's the Laffy Taffy one. This is the closest to it. And if you could, well, just keep going. You don't need to pause. Once you rinse the Laffy Taffy out, then you can see the color. And that's a drawback at this point until I find white Laffy Taffy. But I adjusted the color, added more purple to it after by just putting another layer of resin, and I put in blue to purple color shifting powder and hyacinth color shifting powder. And then I just strung it onto a wire. And that I had put a ball on the end, just like we saw earlier, and made it into an earring wire, and an earring. And I'm calling this a prototype because next time I will leave that ear wire like a full inch longer. This wasn't quite as elegant as I was hoping for. I think a longer ear wire on the back would be good, but I love it. I loved this. I thought this has a lot of potential, and this is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And just so you know, it took me four shots of trying to tape the process of putting the wire up through and in through the other hole, out through the end. I didn't get it first try, so just know that keep trying. It is so worth exploring.
Absolutely.
And adding.
I mean, when you just said, Shelley, it took 4 shots, I thought you were going to say of tequila to finally finish this.
Maybe that would have helped.
Yeah, because at that point, why not? You got Laffy Taffy and tequila. Well, listen, your classes, if you want to learn anything about resin, go to Shelley's class. But I think I have her page coming up here. You'll learn everything you need to learn about. You'll learn more and more. Yeah, all of those classes. Ridiculous amount of information to start playing around with resin, what colors she loves, all of the above. Shelley has other classes coming up. So what, hon?
Thank you. Were there any questions?
Oh yeah, let's look.
I have a question, Shelley. How
Yes.
long
Yes, Max.
did the Laffy Taffy take as long to dissolve out as the others did?
No, the cotton candy dissolved out immediately. What I did is after I took the wire, I enlarged the hole to about 2 millimeters with a just handheld drill bit.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you have a thick enough, a good layer of resin around it, or it kind of collapses. So I then took a syringe, just like a 20 milliliter syringe of hot water, and squirted it into the hole, held it over the sink, did that a few times. Cotton candy washes right out. Mm-hmm. The Laffy Taffy washes out, but it takes sitting in a cup of water for a while to soften it, mm-hmm. and then repeated washing with that syringe, and it washes mm-hmm. out very nicely.
Fabulous.
The other candies, I really liked the shapes I got out of it. So maybe I need to work on some, patience or a better cleaning out technique.
And I know you will. So.
Or make those same shapes out of Laffy Taffy. And Laffy Taffy isn't perfect. It's a little bit sticky. So I put it in the refrigerator, cool it down, and that helps. But there are a lot more things to explore. That's just the start of it.
Oh my God, girl. I love who just wrote here that I know everyone's like, I love how your brain works. It's very true. But you know what? Someone just said about Lorraine, you love your process. Your mind is flying, right? That's what we want to think about in
Yeah.
here. Robert's like, oh, I can relate to the way her mind works. Simply fabulous. I know, right? We love that. But Robin, thank you for saying this. Her brain's bursting with new ideas. That's how we all feel. But how much did you wind up eating?
Very, very little, actually.
Okay.
These aren't my temptations. If I had to cover chocolate, yeah, I would have
Okay, there you
been
go.
more tempted.
Yeah.
Yes. But please feel free to explore any ideas you have with no pressure, and no fear, and just add this to your studio practice, and you can have so much joy from it.
You know, Robert, I'm sure she's working on that next. So you wait and see. Pushing them into molds.
Yeah, yes, you can use texture with it, and I haven't done like a square mold or a round mold with it, but we could check that out, see how it works.
Well, Misty, can you put now in the box the chat with Craftcast on Facebook? I'm not a big Facebook user, but except for this page, because put any questions in there. That's where we talk to each other and say what worked, what didn't, and you'll get your answer there. Lorraine just said she's off to the dollar store as soon as we're done.
Hey, in the notes, I did put a link to the Amazon listing of Laffy Taffy,
just in case.
Only in case you're not acquainted with Laffy Taffy, but it is far cheaper from the dollar store. So
there you go.
And one thing, the color doesn't transfer, so it doesn't matter what flavor of Laffy Taffy you use.
Good to know.
Just so you know, because the cotton candy color did transfer.
Oh.
Which could be fabulous. You never know. So
well, no. Okay, on that note, I set it out in the sun just to dry.
And
the color faded. Oh. So the yellow faded out in about an hour, the blue in a day, the pink took 2 weeks to fade. But it did fade.
Wow. Interesting.
So just a note.
I'm telling you, get her resin classes and all the ones coming up, because she does this for everything and tests everything and just tells us exactly how to do it. So there you go. Miss Shelley, thank you for that. That's like,
you're very welcome.
The best.
Have lots of fun.
Yeah. Mixing candy with anything is a good time, is what I say. All right. Now Wizz is coming. Wizz is a brilliant teacher. We love her classes. Her last class, Woodland Creatures, so popular. Everyone loved it. But when Wizz was watching our rehearsal yesterday, she says, I'm going after that fun candy. This is going to be boring. And I'm like, no, it's not, honey. I understand. Yeah. We're now going back to real tools, and you'll love this. So it's not boring, hon. Take a look at this. What?
I'm bringing you crashing back down to earth with normal tools, right. I'm afraid.
Well, you've eaten all the candy, and now you have to let the sugar wear off, and here we go. So take it away, girl. This is brilliant what you're showing us.
Okay, so I just recently did a Craftcast on wishing rings, and a lot of people were asking me about ring mandrels and different types of ring mandrels, and just a whole lot of stuff about ring mandrels. And I have 3 ring mandrels in my studio. They all basically do the same job. So I thought I would kind of just do a quick sort of comparison, pros and cons of each one. They basically do the same thing. Yeah. But they do have benefits for depending on what you want to do or where you're at in your metal clay journey. So I thought I'd run through the 3 that I have in my studio.
Which is great, because you can decide from this, oh, maybe I need to buy that or this, and we love that. So Wiz put this together, and it's great.
Yeah, so these are the 3 ring mandrels that I have. I've got a little wooden one, which was my first ever ring mandrel. I've got this one, which I think came from Cool Tools. I think it is a Cool Tools one. I bought it from Metal Clay Limited, but I think it is Cool Tools. And then this is my new tool. This is my new one. This is my cutting clay ring mandrel, and I love it. But they all have good kind of qualities. So that's what I was going to run through. So this is the wooden one. This was one of my first ring mandrels, and to be honest, it is really, really cheap. If you're right at the beginning of your metal clay journey and you want a ring mandrel, but you don't have a huge amount of money to invest, this is what you want. It's a great starter. Problem is, it doesn't come with any kind of stand. It's just a wooden rod. So I just got some plastic tube. I just cut out some kind of U shapes in either end, and that means that I can stand it up off my desk while I'm working on it, and it's loose enough to spin. It doesn't have sizes down it. It's just a tapered wooden stick. It's very, very basic. So you do need a set of ring sizes, so you can decide where your ring is, what size, where your size is on that mandrel. So you just slide the ring sizer down the wooden tube, and then just draw around it with a pencil. You can always just rub it off later with a rubber, and now you know where that size is. And I do quite often write the letter inside those marks I've just made, so that I know which mark is which letter. So if I use that one again, I know that that's that size, and I don't need to mark it again. So it does spin in these little kind of holders that I've made for it. Absolutely brilliant. There's nothing wrong with it for a first beginner ring mandrel. Alison, can you pause there a second? The only thing I would say with the wooden one is that it's tapered. And if you're doing a wide ring shank, you do need to bear that in mind, that you might end up with a slightly tapered shape. So after firing, you might have to just reshape it with a metal mandrel just to get it back into like square round rather than tapered round. But for little rings, absolutely fabulous. Really good beginner mandrel. Okay, so this is my this is my Cool Tools one. I got this from Metal Clay Limited in the UK, but I think it's supplied by Cool Tools. It's really weighty. It's a lovely metal L shape with this kind of knobble on it. Really weighty, really nice. And it comes with 12 ring sizes. Now, for me, this is slightly annoying because it's got American sizes on it, but for everyone in America, it's perfect because it's got American sizes on it. So each of the sticks has 2 ends. So you've got 12 sizes there. It's nice and neat and tidy, nice and compact. It's lovely. And you slide these onto the mandrel stand. It spins beautifully. It's a really good one. I've had this for a couple of years now, and I've been using it. I love the size of it. And what's really great about it is I can get my mug warmer underneath it. So once I've air dried my ring for a little while and it's kind of set itself up, and I want to dry it to speed things up, but I don't want to put it on my mug warmer yet, I can put my mug warmer underneath it, and it just gives it a little bit of heat to dry it, which is really great. These are also metal mandrels themselves. So if you do really, really need to speed something up, you can stand it straight on your mug warmer, which again is a great feature. Not something that I do very often, but if you did need to really speed something up, you could just stand it straight upright on the mug warmer. Really compact. I love the way it spins. It spins really nicely. And for me, it's quite a good height for working as well. And as I say, it comes with the individual sizes on this little stand, keeps it all nice and contained and compact. Lots of different size ones for different things, so you can quickly change between sizes. But this is my new one, and I absolutely adore it. So this is from Cutting Clay, and this is his ring mandrel set. So this is the actual mandrel itself. And it's this lovely little stand. It's quite lightweight, which is great for moving around the studio. And it comes with the little stubby bit that you slide the mandrels onto. The great thing about this one is it's got lots of different angles. So depending on how you work or what you're working on, you can have your ring mandrel sizer in a different hole for a different angle. And it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. And you can actually have 2 on the go at the same time, because you can actually stick a metal rod in either side of it. So you can actually make 2 rings at once, which is pretty cool. Comes with 2 lengths of metal rods. So again, depending on how you work, whether you work close up or whether you need a bit of space, you can just set your ring sizer just a bit further away, which is really cool. This is the actual sizing mandrels. I love that he 3D prints the drawers and everything. This is just so neat and so tidy. I've got the UK set. He does print them with US sizes as well. And in the drawer are little stubby things as well, so it keeps them all neat and tidy. And this comes with 24 sizes, different ring sizes. And it goes up a lot higher in size than my Cool Tools one or my wooden mandrel. It goes up a lot higher in sizes, and there's a far bigger range if you're doing bigger rings or smaller rings and not just that middle set of sizes. Then it's really, really useful for that. So that's cool. On the top of the drawers is this kind of funny little shape which the mandrel fits into. It's pretty secure. It's not going to run away. This for me on my desk is too low for me to work. I don't want to be working down there. I'd have to put my chair right down to its like bottom. So I put the ring mandrel on top of the set of drawers, and now it is the perfect height for working on. And then again, you just stick your sizer on the end. It spins really easily, which is great for setting up a ring. And again, depending on how you work or what you're working on, you can set it at a different angle if that's what you need to do. And it's just so versatile. Which is just brilliant. I absolutely love this. It's so cool. He's thought of everything, from the mandrel itself to the little drawers to all the different sizes. Everything has been perfectly thought out.
And Peter just wrote there are US sizing. They go in half sizes. So that's great too, because people are asking about half sizes.
The other great thing about how he's thought this out is because of the shape of the bottom of the ring mandrel, it's really sturdy and stable on the desk. But it also means that with that longer metal rod that comes with the kit, I can hover it over my mug warmer. It would perhaps be a little bit low for me. I might just stand it up on just, I don't know, a little box or a bit of cardboard or something, just to give it a bit of height, because I don't want my rings to dry too fast. But if you do want to speed something up a little bit, you could just raise that up a little bit. That's partly the depth of my mug warmer. It's not a fault with the mandrel. It's my mug warmer is really thick.
Okay.
So yeah, I just think
I love it so organized instead of just throwing them all in a box like we might do.
Everything has its little space.
We love that.
Home, and it looks really tidy on the desk. It looks really fabulous. It's so cool. Yeah, I just love it. There's even space, like little divot spaces on the front of those drawers if you wanted to write on the drawers what they are. So just very, very briefly, when I'm setting up a ring mandrel, I don't make my ring directly on the plastic mandrel itself. I wrap it first so that I get a nice easy release once I've wrapped my metal clay ring around it. So I've just got some greaseproof paper here, or baking paper or tracing paper, a ruler, a pen, a nice 90-degree, and some very low tack tape. Yeah, that's quite important. Masking tape would be fine. I use painter's tape. So I'm just going to check that my piece of, I'm using baking paper. I have known people use Post-it notes, actually is the similar width to my mandrel end there. I want a little bit of space at the front, but that's pretty cool. I've got an overlap on my paper, but not too much of an overlap. Now, to set up a ring, to make sure you get that shank really, really straight, I put a straight line down my piece of greaseproof paper here. It just gives me something to wrap around too, so that when I'm wrapping around a length of metal clay, I can make sure I'm getting my ring really straight. Don't know why I decided to film this left-handed. It's a bit bizarre. But for this,
but there's your wishing ring. There's the
so
your wishing
for a
ring.
wishing ring, I need a center point, and I need my center focal to be at 90 degrees to my ring shank. So if I was doing a ring that has a focal point and I'm building that into the ring as I'm wrapping the shank around, as I do with the wishing rings, I then just take a 90-degree ruler and just draw myself a line at 90 degrees. So I've got something nice and straight. So I know the bottom of my shank is going to be parallel, my ring is going to go on parallel, and then my feature point is going to be perfectly perpendicular to that. So this is just low-tack tape. This is just painter's tape. You could use masking tape. If you're going to use sellotape, I would suggest just sticking it to your trousers or your jeans a couple of times and rip it off. Just get rid of some of the sticky. You want this to be really low tack, because we want to stick this to the mandrel, but we don't want it difficult to get off. So then I bring in my mandrel set and I put it up on the drawers because it's just a better working height for me. And I'm wrapping my bit of paper around. I'm making sure I get that long line that's all the way down my piece of paper, nice and lined up with itself. So then when I wrap my strip of metal clay around to make my shank, I know my shank is going to be nice and straight. I'm not going to be wibbling all over the place. I'm not going to get any funny angles. I'm not going to have to sand too much off to get it nice parallel again. Everything's going to be nice and straight. And then I'm going to tape that down to the mandrel. I'm taping the paper to itself and very lightly taping it to the mandrel. It's very important not to put that tape across like the center of the piece of paper, like widthwise. I'm taping down the edges of the piece of paper, not the middle bit, because we are going to take the piece of paper off with the ring on it. And I don't want the tape then in my way or underneath my metal clay. So my metal, once I've cut my piece of strip of metal clay to whatever width I'm going to cut it to, I can wrap it around and I can twist that mandrel around as I go so that it flops on nice and neatly. And then I've got that perpendicular line for doing my center point for like my wishing rings or whatever it is that's going to be my feature.
Love it.
And it's just so easy to use. So once that's then dry, so I've got my ring on there and it's dried, and I just need to take it off again. The reason we haven't put the tape around like the middle of the piece of paper, we just taped down the ends so that I can get it off really easily. So our metal clay ring has now dried. It's on there, it's dried. Bit of imagination here, people. I just have to take those little bits of tape off the end. They're not underneath my metal clay. And I just have to very loosely undo them, and then I can slide my piece of paper off and uncoil my piece of paper from the center of my ring. And
that's such a good tip, Wiz, because my first feeling was, okay, put the tape down the middle on the whole tape. And then, of course, no, bad idea. Nope.
It just makes things really difficult because now I can uncoil that piece of paper from inside of my ring.
Yep, got it.
Or I can put it straight down onto my warmer with the ring on it, or whatever. It just makes things really easy. So yeah, this is my new favorite toy. I love this thing. It's so good.
Thank you for that amazing demonstration, all of that. And there's a coupon code in there. I believe it's 10% off. Wiz, can you just plop it in there again into our little chat box there so everyone knows? Because that's great. I saw in there, Pam wrote, Pam East is already ordering, and she has in her cart what is it?
The ring mandrel system.
It's so good. So the code Wizz10 will get you 10% off anything on any of your order on Cutting Clay website. So yeah, Wizz-10 for Cutting Clay's website.
Not only is that tool functional, it's so adorable and organized. I love that.
It's so pretty. I just wish he would print it in Miss Wiz Pink for me. But no, it looks really smart on my desk. All really tidy. And it just looks fabulous. And I love kind of putting it away. It's kind of like, I know, a kid putting like toys away or putting things back in a doll's house or something. I don't know. There's something really childish but wonderful and innocent about putting everything back in its little place.
I agree with you 100%. Robert Tansik just said, even without candy, Wizz's demo was delicious. I agree.
Thank you, Robert.
Yeah.
So
here, going into the cart, people are putting it in their cart. Oh, there you go.
But with the putting it away, it's exactly the same with the teeny tiny cutters that Pam was demonstrating, from Cutting Clay, putting them all away, putting them back in their little boxes. The way he thinks up his boxes and presents everything is just
we
fabulous.
Love that.
Peter, I applaud you if you're still watching.
It's very satisfying.
It is
so satisfying
to keep something cleaned up. Missy will put in the box there the link for Wizz's class. There's a few of them there. You saw close up. She had a ring on her hand. That class, you get the ring, you get the earrings. It's genius. Her class with her woodland creatures, also genius. People love that. So many fun things. She has a lot of classes you'll love on there. Check them all out because they're all really fun. And she's really good at showing you step by step and what not to do and what to do, just like all of our other instructors, which I love. And of course, make sure you have that written down. Get 25% off for the week off of all your classes over in Craftcast with ILT June. Because why not? Buy a bunch, have some fun for the summer. One of the things when you're streaming in your library, like I've even watched them. If I'm in a long line someplace or waiting for something to start, I'll open up my own and just start watching a video. And, it's just fun to have that always available to you. So that is great. We did it again, people. We finished the 25th I Love Tools. Onward, I say. Oh, I just realized 25% off on the 25th I Love Tools. And I thank you, Dawn. I mean, so many great presentations that everyone does here. I love it, love it, love it. I think I have, what did I put at the very end? I don't even remember now. Yes, of course. Our wonderful presenters today. How fabulous were all of them? They're so talented, so genius, and the best part they share with all of us. So support them by their classes, and you'll love it. You'll learn it, and everything hopefully will be in your library. The recording. Thank you everyone for sending hearts. Uh, by tomorrow, and you'll get an email to remind you of everything. So no worries there. Make sure and join us a week from Saturday and learn about making those amazing base metal buttons. And then we have other things coming up soon too. So make sure you're on the mailing list. And with that, I send you all the biggest friggin' hug I could think of. Always wonderful. Let's go eat some candy. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Thank you, everyone.
Ciao.
Thank you.
This was
Yep.
fun.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Any questions, support at craftcast.com. We'll answer any questions you have. We love questions. So everyone, bye-bye. Take care
Bye.
and bye-bye.